increased the last couple of days, and it's kind of. I think that's going to be helpful in the short of things here. That people are staying put as much as they can because they probably already where they need to get to right now. So, but the weather is big story today. Probably biggest
weather and traffic. And the biggest stories of the day. We're talking about what matters most in West Michigan and beyond. This is the Big Three. Now, today's Big Three.
Now, the stories that matter most should be talking about these around the water cooler, the dinner table, no matter where you are. These stories powered by our good friends at Heartland Home Mortgage. That's right. We've been telling you for a while about all the great things that Dave Galloway can do and the team at Heartland Home Mortgage. And they are fantastic. We've worked with them several times. We bought our home, refinanced. Doesn't even lower interest rate. Don't want to brag. It's kind of like a status symbol now, right? The golden handcuffs. It kind of feels that way, right? But, every time that we work with, we did a home equity line of credit, too. They saved us thousands. I mean, they're faster. They're better than the big banks. Incredible to work with. And right now, as we see interest rates start to move again, you may want to reach out because Dave and the team will be able to point you in the right direction and probably surprise you with what they're able to do.
Number one.
HHMlending.com. Democrat lawmakers' biggest story of the day saying FBI targeting them on the national scale. We call this accountability in the real world. I understand there's that sort of propaganda, the push to establish their own narrative, but they're the ones who walked into this. They fooled around. Now it's time to find out. The FBI, along with the Department of War now, looking in to that video the Seditious Six made the other day telling troops, hey, you may not have to follow the president's orders. In fact, one of them said you must not follow those orders if you believe they're legal. That's not a good look. For America, it's bad for all of us. The FBI quietly opening that investigation. Democrat Senator Alyssa Slotkin, former CIA analyst herself, spilling the beans, letting everybody know she's under investigation.
Number two.
The Democrats just don't get it. They don't understand the art of the deal. They're melting down right now over this latest story. I don't know if you've seen it. It's Russia, Ukraine. By the way, they don't want peace either. This is the one thing they don't want. They don't want Trump to get another one under his belt, another big win, peace with Russia and Ukraine. Hillary Clinton had to come out and give him praise when it came to the Israel deal. Now, in the Middle East, oh my gosh, she'll have to do backflips if it gets this done with Russia and Ukraine. Democrats proving again they don't get it, though. They're complaining. They're melting down over Steve Witkoff, one of the folks working with Trump there, coaching some of these folks in Russia how to deal with Trump. This is how negotiation works, Trump says, by the way. Pressure, posturing, back channel advice, all of those things. It's all part of pushing your opponent into a corner so you can walk away with more leverage. And by the way, this is what he wants, a deal. In fact, he's responded to it himself. And he said, just as soon as they never can understand. They never get it. But here you have it.
That Bloomberg has of Witkoff coaching the Russians on how to appeal to you.
Well, I haven't heard it, no, but that's a standard thing, because he's got to sell this to Ukraine. He's got to sell Ukraine to Russia. That's what a deal maker does. You got to say, look, they want this. You got to convince them with this. That's a very standard form of negotiation. I haven't heard it, but I heard it was standard negotiation. And I would imagine he's saying the same thing to Ukraine, because each party has to give and take.
So you're worried that he's too pro-Russian?
No, I think, look...
The reporter just asked, are you worried Steve Witkoff is too pro-Russian?
This war could go on for years, and Russia's got a lot more people, got a lot more soldiers, So I think if Ukraine can make a deal, it's a good thing.
This is astounding how obvious, how clear it's becoming. They don't want peace at all. Well, the story that probably hits closest to home and most important to all of us today, winter officially here, lake effect storm. We're under that winter weather advisory, and of course, wind on the lakeshore being a big deal. Lots of it. And in fact, could see some power outages today, but throughout the evening, things will really start to ramp up. We're already starting to see some of that mix flying around downtown. Look at 37 out at the airport right now. 2 to 8 inches, they say, throughout West Michigan. Even more south and north in some places. And all the way up north, I've been hearing them talk about it this morning. Dave's excited about 40 inches up in the UP. I don't even think I just lock myself in the house there and probably hibernate. Probably hibernate for the winter. But they're used to this kind of thing, and we should be too. So just a reminder on the roads, take it slow, give yourself a little bit of extra time. You're going to be fine. And the fact that there's less people on the roads today is probably really helpful for all of us. So anyway, that's the latest. More on it. Stick with us as this thing develops.
Call Justin now at 616-774-2424. That's 616-774-2424. West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Yep. That's where we are, folks. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Now, if you want to join, you can do so right now. As I said, the iHeartRadio app is open as well. If you tap that little microphone button next to the play button, you can rant, rave, sound off, and we'd love to hear from you. In fact, I'm filling in for Glenn on the national program coming up on Friday. I'd love to hear from you then. Give West Michigan a little bit of a spotlight. Bob's on the phone this morning to kick things off. Bob, good morning. Welcome in.
Good morning, brother. I have a blessed Thanksgiving, etc. You and your staff. But,
thank you, buddy.
When I first heard about all this, we love Newsmax. The fake news makes me want to go to Pine Rest. But anyway, we're listening when it first came out. Slotkin, who never served, and all these people disobeying illegal orders. All right. So I'm listening to that stuff, and let me give you some background. First of all, when everyone goes to basic training, whatever service, there's something they teach you called the Uniform Code of Military Justice. There's 134 things they could get you for. 1 through 133, all kinds of stuff, lying, this, that, da, 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 da. And the 134 is if they can't get you for that, they can fill in the blank. Okay, first of all, this guy, Mark Kelly, he was a captain in the U.S. Navy, astronaut, this, that, and everything else. He should know better. Slotkin, she has no knowledge of anything. But here's the thing. I looked it up on two different things. Webster's, seditious. The inciting of hostility against the government likely to cause rebellion or insurrection, but not amounting to treason. Rodale synonym finder, incitement to riot, agitation, stirring up, insurrection, possible mutiny. These people have no idea what they're doing. We watched Newsmax last night, and these former commanders and came on. He says, all it's doing is there will be some younger members in the military that are looking for ways out, etc. It's evil. It's the epitome of horrible leadership, and these people need to be reprimanded. We heard last night in Newsmax, Greg Kelly said, well, look what Slotkin said. Well, I really didn't know of any unlawful orders. So if you don't know them, shut your mouth. Yeah. Support the country. Put your politics aside. Enough said. So I just wanted to fill you in on that. Just thank you for your show over the years. I appreciate it. A while back, I got the Gulf of America T-shirt, and anyway, I'm always here from your military advisor. So,
Bob, I appreciate that expert advice. Thank you very much. You know, they're talking about now, and a happy Thanksgiving to you as well. They're talking about now. We had that story yesterday that they may recall, the Department of War may recall Kelly, bring him in and court-martial him. Look, I don't know exactly how this is, but one thing is for certain, okay, and they've got to have accountability on this. You cannot let this stand. And I think that's understood. In fact, I think that they've got their marching orders right now. Some are going to try and spin this, and they're already in the works. Democrats are already in the works of doing this right now. This is what maybe part of their plan was. Although I don't know that they expected Trump to come down as hard and there to be the reaction. I think they just wanted this to be a topic of conversation at Thanksgiving dinner. Oh yeah, all those illegal orders. I think that's what they wanted to say. But as this whole thing starts to backfire, particularly when they're being asked on places like CNN and some of these other ones, they're carrying the water for them normally. But what were those illegal orders? And they don't have an answer. In fact, there is no answer. That's part of the course here. It's part of the big problem that they got. They just don't have an answer for this because there is no answer. By the way, I don't know if you saw this story. The president pardoned a couple of birds yesterday. There've already been a federal judge step in and say that reverse the pardon. The birds are going straight to the slaughterhouse.
In less than 1 year.
That's a joke, by the way.
We've accomplished more than most other administrations have accomplished in 8 years. And this is a very special Thanksgiving. We thank God for his many blessings and the great success that this country has seen in this short period of time. We draw strength from the love of family and friends, and we express our undying gratitude for the men and the women of the United States Armed Forces. We love them. We pray that peace and prosperity will continue to bless our land, and together we'll really just keep this great drive going to make America great again. MAGA, I think it's the greatest expression in the history of politics. Make America great again. In less than 1 year.
Yeah, I love it. By the way, there was a hitch. There was a little bit of a hitch in all of this yesterday. There was a bit of a surprise. I want to get to that coming up in just a moment. We'll give you a chance to hear that and some of the other things. You just won't get anywhere else. Plus, somebody else has thrown their hat into the ring to run for Senate here as a Republican in Michigan. You'll hear from that familiar voice in the name of somebody you may know. Coming up at 9:35 this morning. Plus, we'll grab your calls and more as we get things rolling on the day before Thanksgiving here. It's West Michigan Live.
It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and
Here are your
106.9
headlines
FM.
from the Midwesterner this Wednesday, November 26th. I'm Robin Hoffman. Fabius Township vetting a solar and energy storage plan tied to the Chinese Communist Party. The Township Planning Commission will review a special land use request from a company called Three Lakes Solar. In other news, 4 illegal aliens from Venezuela arrested in Detroit during a Michigan manhunt for the person who assaulted a Detroit Border Patrol agent. 2 16-year-old 16-year-old cousins in custody along with their parents, rounded up while law enforcement executed a search warrant for an escaped fugitive from Ecuador wanted for the other crime. And President Trump participates in the annual pardoning of 2 turkeys at the White House, Waddle and Gobble. During a speech prior to the pardon, the president talking about the raging crime issue in Chicago.
If you look at the crime that's taken place in Chicago in the last 2 weeks, just take a look. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control.
For these stories and more, visit The Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Press
Alrighty then, welcome in, everybody. Hey, a little technical glitch over on locals this morning. Don't know why. Every now and then this happens, and there's really nothing we can do about it. And I've tried a couple of things behind the scenes, but that's why we're on these different places now. I understand that some of the locals fans and VIPs, you may not be happy about this, but we'll do our best to see what we can do behind the scenes, but also I got to keep the radio show running. We're still live. Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Getter, and YouTube. So we'll say I'll even say good morning to the folks on Getter this morning. Folks on Getter, are you watching folks on Getter? If you're there, just drop your hey in the chat. Want to give you the hey, the shout out that you're due there. On Rumble, I see Tinnisel, Spicy Chemist came over from Locals, Gritters here. Now, I'm not telling you this to keep you away from Rumble. Yeah, Gretter's there. Mama Jacob, such a time as this. Jen Lynn, Darkhawk, good to see you guys. Thank you so much. D1P, thank you for being there. History Diggers and PJ Solo and so many others over on the book. Bookers are hanging out today. We also have folks on the tube. We got some tubers watching. I see Booyah over on X, Jessica, a couple of Jessicas, Sherry, Lori, Laura, Cindy, Doug. Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys. Always a pleasure. Yeah, the enemy's attacking us today, isn't he? They don't want you to hear what we've got set up for you, apparently. Stand by, back on the air here in just a moment. Here we go.
Deadwood Radio is a preset now on our iHeartRadio app. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit autolaw.com.
That's autolaw.com.
I just saw that they ruled that the pardons on the turkeys last year with Biden were done using auto pen. So they've been null and void. Oh, whoops. More from Trump, who had jokes the president pardoning turkeys yesterday.
The turkeys being pardoned today go by the names of Gobble and Waddle. When I first saw their pictures, I thought we should send them, I shouldn't say this. I was going to call them Chuck and Nancy. But then I realized I wouldn't be pardoning them. I would never pardon those two people. I wouldn't pardon them. I wouldn't care what Melania told me. Darling, I think it would be a nice thing to do. I won't do it, darling.
He had to do it. He had to do it. Had to throw it in there. By the way, some really other admirable and notable pieces from yesterday's pardon ceremony. He gives a big shout out to someone very special. And I think, it's great to have a president who's not afraid, not ashamed to do this.
In less than 1 year, we've accomplished more than most other administrations have accomplished in 8 years. And this is a very special Thanksgiving. We thank God for his many blessings and the great success that this country has seen in the short period of time. We draw strength from the love of family and friends, and we express our undying gratitude for the men and the women of the United States Armed Forces. We love them. We pray that peace and prosperity will continue to bless our land, and together we'll really just keep this great drive going to make America great again. MAGA, I think it's the greatest expression in the history of politics. Make America great again. In less than 1 year.
Yeah, big shout out for for God as well at the giving thanks. But that's what Thanksgiving is all about. That's what this day is all about. We've gotten so far away from it. I think one of the reasons we have so many problems in this country is that we've completely forgotten to give things. And part of that is the society that we're in. Nothing's good enough. That's the funny thing about all these woke folk and the folks on the left running around and all the complaints that they make. Part of that is that they never stop to actually give thanks for the good things that are happening and really take stock in how great America is and how great it can be. Because we're not like any other country. There is no UK dream. There is no Mexican dream, Canadian. There's only one. It's the American dream. It's like that for a reason. There is no other country like this. And it is because we have a covenant. Fact with God. It's a country that was set up on, and by the way, you'll go back into the history, the founding of this nation, you'll see governors in states all across the founding states giving that things, that proclamation, the proclamation of Thanksgiving that was read in those pews in churches. That's how significant this whole thing is.
But we have more people working. We have more people praying. The churches are coming back. I don't know if you've been reading that story, but religion is coming back to America. Some people say, oh, why would you mention that? To me, that's a big deal. And this Thanksgiving, we're also making incredible strides. But
it is a fantastic story. It's one I've been keeping an eye on as well. And folks, it's one that I think is it ought to be encouraging for all of us. It really ought to. Do we have our flaws? Yes, we absolutely do. Nothing is perfect because no one man is. But at the end of the day, there was only one, and he was half God. And he is who we give thanks to today, tomorrow, and every day for what we are blessed with. A lot of that's not our doing, folks. And when you realize that, that's where something special happens, right? All right, back after this, we got news next.
Informative, engaging. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barkley on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Hi, I'm Congressman John Molinar.
All right, looks like Locals is back up now. And again, I can't tell you what did or didn't happen. I can just tell you for a moment it kind of booted us out, made us sign back in. So I just want to throw that out there. I'm not sure, but I am glad it is working for our VIPs over on Locals and everybody else that likes to partake over there. Cook Garden So, by the way, sang over on Locals. I think if the turkeys were named Chuck and Nancy, they would have been tasteless and too tough to eat. Yeah. Or filled with pork, which is a whole nother scenario that might have actually made them. That would have made them tasteful. All right. Guests jumping on with us momentarily to talk about the Senate run. There are a couple. There's three people that I know of running for Senate here as Republicans in the state. One of them, Mike Rogers. He's the Trump endorsed. He was just on the end. He's been on with this last run and certainly since he announced again. But the other two have yet to be on. In fact, we just heard of one announcement, and the other just got a call. They just reached out to be on. Probably going to be on sometime next week. Remember, we give everybody a chance to come on and love to open the floor for everyone. So that's kind of what this I don't take sides either. No, I don't. But I give people a chance to make their case. And one of the next individual, somebody that we know really well. We'll talk to them coming up here in a second. Hang on. Also, the folks on Getter this morning, Joe Boy is here. Mama Boom is here. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to do better on Getter. I'm going to do better making the point to say hi to you folks. It's cold in the studio today. I know it's cold outside, but it is cold in the studio. I don't know what is going on. Maybe it's the wind blowing in here, and maybe it's a thermostat not completely working, but it's a little weird. It's a little wonky. Gonna have a good after show today too. We've got lots to discuss, lots to talk about. Let me see if I have anything else I wanted to make sure that I got while we're waiting to come out of the. Yeah, I do. I think I have a couple of things here. Oh, don't forget 5 years ago today. This is a good one. 5 years ago, this is where we were just 5 years ago.
I know you've all heard me talk about Thanksgiving a number of times these past couple of weeks. But like I said before, we are going to get through this. We are doing our part when we protect our loved ones and stay apart this holiday. We're preserving future holiday gatherings together by taking this seriously now.
You know, there are people that didn't get together on Thanksgiving, and they never had another Thanksgiving because of the actions of this governor. There are people that died in nursing homes because she crammed sick people into those nursing homes and infected them, and they died. People lost their loved ones. No, we didn't preserve future gatherings. In fact, it was the opposite. It was the opposite. All right, let's see. What else we got going? I just wanted to make sure you saw that. Oh, this is something. This is really rich. I don't know. I got to be careful because I don't know if there's language here. Protesters have taken over last night, LAX, one of the busiest travel days of the year yesterday. At an intersection right outside of LAX, people are trying to get to their destination so that they can get into the plane, and these protesters are stopping.
Here, these are people's lives. You need to stop. It's my flight. I'm flying to Europe.
I run them over. I would just barrel through them. This is California. By the way, what's wild is that these protesters, this woman who is being stopped, right? They're not convincing anyone of anything. In fact, what they're probably doing here is they're probably turning this woman, they're probably red pilling her as we speak. She just probably voted the same way they did. And now, you know, now she's being stopped from getting on her flight. It's to me, it's another one of those fool around, find out moments. And I don't know about you, but it's kind of wild to watch. Kind of wild to watch it all. Okay, back on the air here, folks, in just a minute. We got about 30 seconds left. And we'll be back on the air. All right, here we go, folks.
GuardingYourNestEgg.com.
Advisory services offered through Talent Private Wealth, LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hey, it's Glenn Beck, and you're listening to West Michigan Live with our good friend, Justin Barclay. The Glenn Beck program coming up at 10 on Wood Radio.
And winter weather advisory is underway. We got the snow, the mix of stuff currently falling. In fact, blowing sideways in some cases. Downtown, it's whipping wildly, that wind. The wind advisory is on the Lakeshore. We'll have more updates and continue to keep you up to date with them as it really starts to kick into gear, as Matt Kirkwood said earlier from Wood TV. About time sun goes down today. So that's the latest. Take a little extra time. You'll be fine today. Over the river and through the roads to Grandma's house tomorrow. And stay with us for the updates. It's West Michigan Live. All right, back on and at it again, folks. A big announcement came last week. Former Michigan GOP co-chair Burnett Smith saying, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring for Senate. And a good friend, familiar face and name, you probably heard her even on the program before. Burnett, thank you so much for joining. We appreciate you being here with us today.
Thank you for having me, Justin. It's a pleasure.
So let's start, adding your hat into the race. Why did you decide? I mean, this is a pretty big deal. You decided, okay, I'm co-chair of the party here statewide. This must have been a big, epiphany or something to really get you to say, I'm stepping down here and feel called to run in this direction.
Yes. Justin, it is so important. It is so vital. Michigan, I think about this because Michigan families, they deserve a voice. They deserve a voice in Washington. But the voice they deserve is one who would defend faith, protect families, and restore our God-given freedom. I am running, Justin, to truly return power back to the people.
Give us an example what that looks like, because I understand what you're saying. Obviously people feel like maybe they have lost a little power, maybe they have lost a little significance or influence. What would you like to see happen?
Well, they have. Think about this. Look, think about our Constitution. What I said, we need to go back, Justin, to the ABCs of our Constitution. It is so important. And when I say A, accountability. Government must answer to the people, not to special interest groups or political insiders. When I say B, policies must support families, workers, and communities without tipping power towards government outreach. When I say C, the Constitution provides the guardrails for freedom, for security, and prosperity. Returning it, it's so important to return it past and us going forward. We have lost our way. And that's exactly why we see what's happening in our country today, because so many people, they don't even know what the Constitution says. The young people do not know so many of them do not know what the Constitution says. Others may have known it, but they've forgotten it because on purpose, what we're seeing happen in our society, they're literally trying to erase our history. And that's why many of schools, they don't have history classes. I've had civic classes. We need to restore the ABCs of our Constitution back in our world today and move forward.
Obviously, you've seen the latest here, most recently with Senator Alyssa Slotkin. And, the comments she's come out and made with the Seditious Six and these other Democrats, just talking about the Constitution in itself here. And this is troublesome for a lot of people. I mean, it puts America in a bad light. And I think it's going to get somebody killed, this type of talk about not following orders of the commander in chief and things like that. But it's an example of how bad things have gotten with the Democrats.
And it's not only the Democrats, Justin, it's humanity. And see, when we lose our way, when we take God out of our country, which our forefathers, this country was built on Judeo-Christian values. When you take morality out of a country, you're going to get chaos like we're seeing it. We're going to get all the confusion, the violence, the destruction of humanity. It's because we've taken away the morality that God requires for all of us to walk in. So what do we expect? So I'm running to bring that back, to remind people, to educate them, to motivate them, and to demonstrate what that really looks like. And it's high time for us to do it now. We don't have time. And that's one of the reasons why I put my name in the hat to run for U.S. Senate, because I know that I will go to Washington. I will not compromise. I will speak truth to power, and I will help the citizens of Michigan and our government get back on track the way our forefathers intended for it to be.
Bernadette Smith with us right now. She's running for Senate here in Michigan. What are you hearing when you're on the, you're having these conversations with people? I mean, even before you were on the trail, you've been involved with Republicans here in Michigan for a long time. But what are you hearing right now on the ground floor about what matters most to people, what people are really concerned about?
Well, first of all, Justin, people have lost faith in government. They've lost faith in politicians. They don't know who to trust. And that is so important that we bring trust back. If we don't have trust, if people cannot trust us and they can't trust the government, what do we have? That's the number one thing. People, they don't trust. And we need to bring trust back. How do we do that? The ABC, accountability. It's so important that we understand that we have to have the accountability to bring this back. It's so important that we do this. And also, I'm hearing families are starving. People are hungry. So we need to also address that. There's so many things. People are losing their jobs. It's so much, Justin. I don't know where you want me to start, but it's so many things that I can talk about. But I know that we don't have time today to talk about all that I can share why I'm running for U.S. Senate. But if you go to my website, they will get a lot. And that's my landing page, but the full website is coming out in a couple of weeks.
Give us that page so folks can stay connected. What is that?
Bernadette Smith for Senate. Mrs. Smith goes to Washington.
I like that. Bernadette Smith for Senate. Is it number 4 or spelled out?
.com. FOR.
FOR. Okay. Bernadette Smith for Senate.com if you want to go check that out. And of course, we'll put it up in the stack as well. I've got to ask you about the Republican field so far. So there are a couple other candidates. One is Mike Rogers, who the president has endorsed. Now, I know that you have a relationship there, and obviously you hadn't announced by the time that the president had endorsed. What's your take on that endorsement, and what you might do going forward to let people know where you stand?
Right. You're so correct about the president did not know I was running at that time. As you know, I just threw my head in the ring on last week. But I want to say this. I so admire our president. He's done such a great job, and still, we need to continue to pray for him because, he's doing a good job, and we need to stand with him. But I want to say this. If you were to ask our president this question, Bernadette Smith is running, I'm just sure that our president would say, I am extremely excited that she is exercising her freedom as an American citizen to run.
Fantastic. Bernadette Smith for Senate.com. Now, anything else before we go? We got to make sure that we cover, because I know you're going to be here and there, probably out meeting people, talking to folks, events that you may want to share with folks that you're going to be at. I know the announcement just came kind of quickly here, but what should folks keep in mind?
Sure. I'm going to say this too, Justin. People ask me, some people have asked me, what makes you different from Mike Rogers? And, I really would like to say this. My focus is not on my differences with Mr. Rogers. My focus is on what I will bring and help the citizens of Michigan. And that going forward, that's what my focus is, because I know that I can truly help them. I have the experience. I have the background, and I'm ready to move forward into Washington. I will be in Port Huron on December 6th. I will be speaking to that body of audience. I'm also attending certain different parades and so forth. So I'm getting my schedule. Right now, my assistant and my team, they're working on it. But I'm very excited to be on the campaign trail, bringing and restoring truth to our constituents. And I do want to say this. You said earlier, and it's so true, I've been on the campaign trail. Not campaign trail, but just throughout Michigan for decades, right? And on my own dollar. I did it because why did I do this on my own dollar for 5 years and beyond? Going across the state of Michigan is because I care for the citizens of Michigan. I believe it's so important that they be educated. It's so important that we demonstrate what it looks like, to be a conservative Christian. And what does that mean? Conservatism means just following our laws. It's not. It's following what our forefathers have placed in order. And as we follow that, Justin, we'll be all right. The bottom line is they're trying to destroy it, and it's not. It's just humanity. They need help. And I'm here to help humanity, and that's all people in the state of Michigan.
Now, Bernadette Smith running for Senate here in Michigan. Bernadette Smith for USSenate.com, the website. Bernadette Smith for U.S. Senate. And we appreciate you taking the time. Bernadette, we go way back, and obviously folks have heard you on the program before as well. Tell your husband, Phil, we said hi and give him our best.
I would do that. Thank you so much for having me, Justin.
You got it. We'll have you back. I'll come back on. Let us know updates as they come in. We appreciate you. And happy Thanksgiving.
Oh, thank you. You as well. And God bless your audience.
You too. God bless. There you go, folks. The latest, and there's one more. There actually is one more candidate that we'll get to, I think, next week. Giving you a chance to hear from everybody. And, there's no shortage when it comes to those candidates running for governor as well. So you can make your best decision. That's kind of how we like to do things here. And we appreciate it. The opportunity, really, to let you hear from everyone. And we'll hear from you. In fact, a few others coming up in just moments. We got to take our break. We'll be back with the latest after this on West Michigan Live. And, the markets can feel like a crazy train at times. It's a roller coaster ride. The ups and the downs, but you don't have to feel nauseous. We talked about this. In fact, we're seeing stocks on the rise today. Lots of green on the screen on CNBC's page here. Stocks rising ahead of Thanksgiving, building on strong gains for the week. The headlines there. But whether they're up or down, look, you got to have a plan that takes a holistic approach and customized specifically for your needs. The folk at Talon Wealth do just that. Mike Lester and the team at guardingyournestegg.com have been working for decades to make sure that people like you, whether you want to retire today or tomorrow, 10, 20 years down the road, have exactly what you need and what it takes to get you where you want to go and when you want to get there. And enjoy the ride so you don't feel nauseous on that crazy train. With the ups and the downs. Call them today at 616-661-1000. At 616-661-1000, or go online to guardingyournestegg.com. But do it today before it's too late, folks. Get it back on track. Take some time over the holidays and make that call.
FYI. Like, literally. It's West Michigan Live with Justin Barclay on News Radio Wood 1300 and 106.9 FM.
Here are your headlines from the Midwesterner this Wednesday, November 26th. I'm Robin Hoffman. Here in Michigan, the crackdown on illegal aliens continues as 4 people from Venezuela arrested in Detroit. This happening during a Michigan manhunt for the person who assaulted a Detroit Border Patrol agent. 2 16-year-old cousins in custody along with their parents. In other news, Fabius Township vetting a solar and energy storage proposal tied to the CCP, Chinese Communist Party. The Township Planning Commission will review a special land use request from a company called Three Lakes Solar. That meeting scheduled for December. And President Trump pardoning 2 turkeys in Washington, D.C. at the White House and then heads to Florida for Thanksgiving. He tells reporters on Air Force One progress is being made in the peace talks between Ukraine and Russia.
People are starting to realize it's a good deal for both parties if they got to stop the war.
For these stories and more, visit The Midwesterner at themidwesterner.news.
Do you own a small business? A seismic shift?
All right, folks. What the fastest hour in radio each and every day. Flying right by. Another fast one for us. Keeping an eye on it all. Making sure that you stay up to date with the latest. And, I got a couple of stories that like I said, we barely had time for. We're going to get into some of those at the after show. Former Person of the Year, Greta Thunberg, has been banned. She's banned. We'll tell you what happened in her latest stunt, and I just can't believe that this is still a thing, that she is still a thing. Plus, Trump has this is really kind of interesting. He's got some pull, some sway, and even some places you wouldn't necessarily expect. Hollywood. How about that? We'll get to it all coming up here in just a second. The story is going to give you a chuckle. I can tell you that much right now. And lots of other things that we haven't had a chance to scratch the surface on coming up in the after show, the show after the show. Thank you for clicking share today on the programs. Thank you whether you're watching on Facebook, Twitter, X, Rumble, Getter, Locals, YouTube, wherever you're watching. Thank you for doing that. Helps us get the word out, specifically on Facebook. Break the algorithm. All right, back next. Stand by, folks.
That's Lenovo.com.
Lenovo. Setwood Radio is a preset now on our iHeartRadio app. Powered by Michigan Auto Law. Auto accident attorneys. Visit Autolaw.com.
That's Autolaw.com.
He's busted. I know we've heard porch pirates this time of year. I usually get, but I get a lot of focus and attention because they get caught, and we've got 4K video of them doing their thing, right? But this is a guy who's busted for a completely different. In fact, there's a complete ring of thieves. But check this one out.
A bust just in time for the holiday shopping season. An international theft ring brought down on Long Island. Welcome back. I'm Steve Lacey.
And I'm Natasha Verma. These are not your average porch pirates. Prosecutors say a network of runners were given FedEx tracking information to help them steal boxes moments after they got delivered.
All right, Fox 5's Arthur Chen has a look at the sophisticated crime ring.
That's awful, because I get a lot of deliveries.
The efficiency of these alleged porch pirates seemed uncanny. Over a 2-year investigation, there were times it seemed like they were waiting for the FedEx delivery person to arrive. And just their luck, across more than 30 towns in Suffolk County, they seem to only be there for cell phones being delivered or other expensive electronics. The coincidence raised eyebrows.
Inside job, how would they know, right?
We saw clearly a pattern developing with the cell phone, so we decided to investigate that pattern.
On Monday, the Suffolk County DA's office announced the takedown of a sophisticated porch pirate ring. 14 defendants indicted, the ringleader from the Bronx, where the stolen phones from Suffolk County would allegedly end up, then to be resold on the black market, domestically and internationally.
They had the technological ability to unlock the phones and utilize them either as internet devices or communication devices or both.
While authorities have now charged 14 people as part of this sophisticated ring, they say they are still working on rooting out how it is that the group came by such insider information from FedEx, the tracking information of these electronics. And for that reason, they say more arrests could be on the way. Those we spoke with in Suffolk County are relieved to hear a warning shot being fired at porch pirates.
I'm glad they took them down.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. We're in the suburbs, so you would think it wouldn't happen that much here. I certainly hear about it happening a lot in the city.
Dude, that's where it happens. It's the suburbs, man. That's where they get this.
Or in, places where houses are really close together and, you drop off packages on the porch and somebody comes in and steals it or something of that sort. But I haven't run into a lot of it out here. And like I said, we've been fortunate.
Not so fortunate for the alleged porch pirates that some of the charges they face carry a maximum of 8 to 25 years behind bars. In Melville, Long Island, Arthur Chien, Fox 5 News.
One of them, if not more, illegal aliens. How about that? One of them, if not, this is like that Venezuelan gang that was going around, or whether it's Trinidad or there's another one over in the Detroit area, in those really posh areas of Oakland County, and they were getting into breaking into people's homes, and they had like very high-tech ways of doing it. Incredible. Rush Hour 4 is a movie with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. You remember that series, that franchise? Variety reports today, in one of the strangest reports I've seen in a long time, Variety reports that it's coming back, and it's by request of a very important individual, a VIP. Donald Trump, the president of the United States, according to Variety, has asked that they make a fourth Rush Hour. I've never seen anything like this before. It's just, again, you would almost think this is something from The Onion. Or maybe maybe the Babylon Bee. But Rush Hour 4 in the works, they say, with Paramount on board to distribute the newest installment in the Buddy Cop series. The long-gestating sequel, reportedly the beneficiary of some Oval Office intervention. That's great. President Trump personally requested that the studio revive the franchise, as first reported by CBS. Now, what else? What else would we like to see brought back? If he could just pick up the phone and make a call. We got another couple of franchises. Back to the Future. It might be tough to pull that one off. That was a good one. We've seen the Indiana Jones stuff here and there. That's kind of fizzled out. I think they've sort of exhausted their plot lines there, and they went so woke. But maybe if they came back and made it kind of fun again, they'd be okay, folks. Don't forget, it was 5 years ago as we go into Turkey Day tomorrow.
I know you've all heard me talk about Thanksgiving a number of times these past couple of weeks. But like I said before, we are going to get through this. We are doing our part when we protect our loved ones and stay apart this holiday.
A muffled Gretchen Whitmer, who some wish would have just kept the mask on for other reasons. They're telling you not to go out and celebrate Thanksgiving. So I'll be darned if I don't make it to my Thanksgiving gathering, whether the snow is deep or not. We had other things much deeper back then, and I won't be deterred. I'm getting that turkey tomorrow. I don't know about you. Stick with us for the latest. Little weather advisory in effect for most of West Michigan, and storm totals on all of the snow coming up. We'll have the details on conditions on the road and more. So don't go anywhere throughout the day and tomorrow as well. Glenn Beck program is coming up next. I'll be back in for Glenn nationwide on the Glenn Beck program on Friday for Beck Friday. What an honor and a privilege. In the meantime, make it a great one, folks. Happy Thanksgiving and God bless.
Our Father, who art in the heavens, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses. We forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and glory forever and ever. Amen. Amen.
WOOD Grand Rapids, WOOD FM Muskegon. The news is next on Wood Radio.
An iHeart radio station.
Guaranteed human.
Pump up your energy savings with the new Bradford White Aerotherm.
All right, folks. Good luck. Monday Night Meyer had only 5 turkeys left. Well, they had some of the lowest price. Hey, by the way, I'm going to save this for the after show. It's just, I see stuff like this all the time. I go, gosh, it's so obvious. But it needs to be done. So I'm gonna fact check, set the record straight here in just a moment. Let me get the after show rolling and going. Stand by, folks. Stand by for news. Get ready to strap in. It's going to be a heck of a ride. It's like drinking from a fire hose. Never a dull moment, but yes, you'll hear the stories you won't hear anywhere else, and we appreciate you being here with us for them today. I'm Justin Barclay. It is the show after the show. That's why we call it the after show. We are back at it. Never a dull moment, never enough time to get to it all. We're doing our best to make sure you get it and get it all accurate. Breaking news. The stories you won't hear. Anyway, some of the news even broken itself. It's not our job to fix it, but we'll set things straight. And in fact, we'll do some of that coming up in just a moment. I got a story I gotta mention. Healthwithjustin.com, the folks at My Pure Health Solutions are sponsors today in a Black Friday special with the deals. So good. right now. It's the best price of the year. You can lock in your rate and your place to join my challenge coming up at the first of the year. The Maha Challenge at the first of the year. You don't even have to start now. You can if you want, but you don't start now. You can start after the holidays with me as the next phase begins, and we just continue to kick butt. I actually might have an update today. Maha Missy joins us a little bit later on, about 10:30 this morning, so stand by for that. A little bit of a bonus update for you coming your way. Healthwithjustin.com if you want to join in. By the way, you've seen the results with me. You've seen it with the others that have joined the program. Healthwithjustin.com. You can actually see those before and after pictures, hear those testimonies, the stories of how these guys got their lives back in such a great way. It is incredible. Our good friend Trucker Randy, I think he almost lost like nearly 100 pounds. Steve Gruber's joined the program. Everybody that does absolutely loves it. In fact, I got a guy, I don't want to give his business, but he's somebody you've heard, like a guest you've heard on the show. I'll let him tell you. But I was just talking to him the other day, and this is like a high-profile author. And he joined the program, and he said, I'm 10 days in. I just talked to him yesterday. He goes, I'm 10 days in. And like I said, I won't share his name, but he said, I feel great. And he actually, he sent me a message, and we talked before he started, and he goes, is this the real deal? I go, look, I'm telling you, brother, I can't begin to explain it, but I feel amazing. And I don't think you realize, this is the one thing he started telling me. He's like, he's down. I don't remember how much he said he was down, but his joint pain is gone. Like all of this great stuff that's happening. And one of the things, he and I were talking about, I said, you don't realize how bad you feel when you're in the middle of all this. You don't realize how bad it actually is until you start feeling better again. Healthwithjustin.com. Healthwithjustin.com. Go check it out today and check out the Black Friday savings of Maha Missy and the great folks there at My Pure Health Solutions. All right, I got to show you this. I promised I would. Set the record straight. So this is Drudge. This is how bad. Now, again, I look at everything, folks. So I don't, it's not like I can't look at Drudge anymore. Even MSD and C13 or whatever they're calling it now, MS Now, whatever it is. I don't know what they call it. I have to kind of have to look at everything to see kind of how bad even some of the stuff is out there. But here's what they've got. Tariff Thanksgiving. Turkey prices up 24%. This is a flat lie. Tariff prices up 24%. It's a flat out blatant lie. It's not up 24%. In fact, we saw and we've seen places like Meijer, places like Aldi, places like Target, Walmart, Sam's, all these different places coming out and telling you that turkey is actually cheaper this year. Isn't that something? And they've had record low prices. In fact, if you go back, it's not a 24% increase. It's not. If you go back and look at the turkey prices throughout the last several years, we're down. So I don't know where they pull these headlines. In fact, if you go in and click the stories, MPR News, what the heck is MPR? Is it Minnesota Public Radio maybe? Tadeo Ruiz Santafal writes this. Or is it Mexican Public? What is this? This story was produced in partnership with Harvest Public Media, collaboration of public media newsrooms in the Midwest and Great Plains. So it's got to be Minnesota, right? An average 15-pound turkey could cost around $30 this Thanksgiving, according to analysis from Purdue University. There's a 25% increase October 2024 from today, a reversal from the relatively low prices of previous years. But why? That's absolutely baloney. But then when you dig into the story, it says it's the bird flu that caused it. In fact, I don't even think there's anything in here about tariffs whatsoever. Well, there's a little line. Okay. As Hubble said, animal feed often makes up 60-70% of a producer's operating costs. While each farmer has their own special feed mixture, usually prepared by a nutritionist, most include minerals, vitamins, and other ingredients imported from abroad. Those ingredients have recently been hit by tariffs. So they're thinking maybe, they use these words, maybe, could, and it's absolutely baloney. These turkeys are they're flat out lying to you. Now, whether or not retail sales and Black Friday are going to be up or not, that's a whole nother question. I don't know. I kind of feel like, and this is just in my house, I don't know about you. I don't know where you stand on this, but I kind of feel like I'm done with the kind of overdriven consumer junk anyway. Like, I don't need a new TV. I don't need a big screen. I really don't need anything this Christmas. I can't think of anything at all, like anything at all that I really need. Time with my family. I mean, I like maybe a trip somewhere. That'd be kind of fun, but we don't plan on spending big money on anything. I think the whole world is, and that's not a Trump thing, by the way. That's because of Biden era, and we've been in that mode for a while now. So just to keep you kind of honest over here, Drudge Report. That now again, this is Financial Times. Grim retail sales data fuels concerns about health of U.S. economy. Now, they're talking about past data. They don't even know what Black Friday is going to look like. But every headline over here on the Drudge Report is negatively written to force a false narrative about Trump, which is it's just wild to watch. The people with Trump derangement syndrome apparently bought this out years ago, and I don't know what to tell you. I bring it up because I just want to make sure that you understand. I just want to make sure it's clear when you see things out there floating around. And then, I mean, you know. Now, Aldi ran a deal. They did a dinner for 10 for $40. I think it was Walmart or Target. Somebody else had one that was under $4 a person for dinner for 10. So there were a number of turkey deals out there and Thanksgiving deals. We saw turkey prices, I want to say 30-something cents a pound for Meijer. If you had an M-Perks card, it was like 30-something. If you didn't, I think it might have been 40-something. I don't know. I don't know the specifics. I don't want to give you the specifics. And then we bought some big honking birds. I should have checked exactly. I should have checked to find out exactly where, how much it weighed and what we paid. But we got a couple of birds that we donated for the turkey drop this year. And again, we had record number 7,000 birds, 7,033 donated for turkey drop this year for families across West Michigan. And I think that only and by the way, more physical birds than actual donations online. That's more than normal. Here's Lori responding to Jerry Nadler, who's trying to toe that line that Thanksgiving's more expensive. I don't know where you're getting this information because I paid a lot less this year. I mean, turkey is 29 cents a pound. You can't beat that. That's pretty incredible. I don't know where that was. I don't think we paid 29 cents a pound, but that's pretty good. I don't know what you paid. I don't know what it ended up looking like for you. But yeah, here's another one. For the Democrats screaming about turkey prices under President Trump, here's another one. I don't know. I mean, look. Got a 20-pound turkey for $10, Sherry says. Holy smokes. That's nice. That'll do it. That'll get the job done. I'm just bringing this up. Now, I'm not saying that cost of other things are going to be, aren't going to be expensive or they're not going to go up in other places. I can't say that. In some cases, yes, and in some cases, no. But turkey's like everything else. This story didn't come true. Turkey's going to cost you a lot more. They're saying $1.32 a pound, somebody was saying. That's just crazy. And I want to tell you the most unpopular opinion. I don't know. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just, I will say this, and then I don't, maybe like other people will finally have the guts to admit it. But I don't know about you, but I'd be honest. I'm not so hot on turkey. I'd rather have something else. I think the turkey thing's kind of like, I think it's, I don't want to say a scam. Turkeys are a scam. Turkeys are a scam. They're a conspiracy theory. That's not what I mean necessarily. But what I do, what I do is I'd rather have steak. It's just me. Prime rib. I'd rather have something like that. Now, I don't know. I mean, I know that's going to be a lot more expensive than turkey, but then again, if I'm going to be feasting, that's probably what I want.
But we have more people working. We have more people praying. The churches are coming back. I don't know if you've been reading that story, but religion is coming back to America. Some people say, oh, why would you mention that? To me, that's a big deal. And this Thanksgiving, we're also making incredible strides. But we have more people.
I hope so. Holy cow, I hope so. Now, there was another pardon video that was out there, too. I think this is just cinematic. There's another pardon video that was released by the president. Since we're talking turkey, we might as well talk about this. This social media team for the president is best of the best. I don't think there's anybody better. See, look at all these people saying, yeah, prime rib or brisket. I agree. I'm not a huge fan of turkey. See what I'm saying, people? I think there's a lot of this. We've been going along with it for years. With this, unless you're going to deep fry my turkey or smoke it or something, I don't know. There's generally not a lot of flavor in them. That's just the way. Now, maybe we're doing it wrong. I'm not the one making it, so I can't complain, I guess. But I'd rather have something else.
Yeah, for the First Lady and the entire Trump family, I want to wish all Americans a very, very happy Thanksgiving. It's a great time of the year, and our country is doing really well economically like we've never done before. Today, we continue a time-honored American tradition. In a few moments, I will grant a full, absolute, and unconditional presidential pardon to two handsome Thanksgiving turkeys, and this is their lucky day. This is a lucky day for them. I hope all Americans will have the chance to enjoy the fellowship of family and friends and renew our faith in God's providence. And now let's go and give Gobble your pardon. Gobble, there you go. I just want to tell you this, very important. You are hereby unconditionally pardoned. So praise the Lord. Praise the Lord. There you go. You're right.
There you go. Yeah, just another, I don't know, it's just kind of another interesting piece put out on the internet. You know, he didn't pull any punches yesterday because he talked a little bit about, he had to take some time to talk about some of the other things that are going on. Look at Chicago and the crime happening there. This is another big story.
So all the crime that took place last night, the night before, the woman with the burning, they burned the woman. To be talking about that now, they burned this beautiful woman riding in a train. A man was arrested 72 times. 72 times, think of that. And they'll let him out again. The liberal judges will let him out again. But we're ready to go. You know, we've been moving toward Chicago. We have a governor that thinks it's wonderful that only like 7 people were killed this week. But we are moving toward doing, and we're going to.
Did you hear the turkey in the background? Let me run that back. He's talking a serious subject. And then the turkey chimes in.
Wonderful that only like 7 people were killed this week, but we are.
And there's a kid crying in the background, and there's a turkey. But what he's saying is very important. It needs to be heard because the news media is not spending a lot of time on this woman that was killed, and she was burned alive. Basically, what did she die? That may be premature. I think she's still fighting for her life in the hospital. I don't know. I got to get an update on that.
Moving toward doing, and we're gonna. If crime gets, it's horrible what's happening in Chicago. We could make Chicago a safe city in a period of 4 weeks. In a period of 8 weeks, 9 weeks, 10 weeks, it would be totally safe. And the people of Chicago want us to go there. And if you look at the crime that's taken place in Chicago in the last 2 weeks, just take a look. It's on the front page of every newspaper. It's out of control. The mayor is incompetent, and the governor is a big fat slob. He ought to invite us in, say, please make Chicago safe. We're going to lose a great city if we don't do it quickly.
I think she's still alive, but I don't know. Here's the report on identifying her, who she is.
Woman who was set on fire on a commuter train. Now we know the identity of the 26-year-old woman who was minding her own business on her phone when a man poured gasoline on her and set her on fire. The judge is keeping the suspect in custody because he says he's a threat to society. But as Jim Murray reports, many are asking,
custody? The guy ought to be hanging by a rope right now.
Why he was out on the street at all, considering he has 72 prior arrests.
We now know the identity of the woman set on fire during a horrific attack on a commuter train. She's 26-year-old Bethany McGee, a business analyst. Her father is a college professor of biblical studies. Cops say this lunatic poured gasoline over Bethany on a Chicago L train as she sat looking at her phone at 9:24 p.m. 7 days ago. Bethany tried to fight off her attacker and fled to the back of the train, but cops say the crazed man followed her with a lit bottle and set her ablaze.
The female was just set on fire.
Police say Bethany, who is nearly fully engulfed in flames, tried to extinguish herself by rolling around on the floor of the train. As soon as the train came to a stop, Bethany ran out and collapsed on the platform, where bystanders tried to help and called the fire department. Bethany was rushed to...
It's just a horror. We had family that got married in Chicago a couple of years back and wanted to go. It was a cousin of my wife, and I just wouldn't take our kids, would not take them. And if at the time, I think, I take this back, we had one, our oldest was around, I think my wife was pregnant with our youngest. And I said, can't carry there. Not going. Can't defend my family. Not going. Not going. I can't do that. I cannot put them in that position. It's just not. I refuse to. Look at this woman and the track record of this guy. 72 times they had opportunities to lock the guy up, throw the book at him. 73rd time's the charm. Is that where we're at, folks? These judges ought to be locked up right along with the guy.
The hospital with burns covering 60% of the body. This photo captured her attacker strolling away. Today, outrage is growing after it was revealed that the suspect, 50-year-old Lawrence Reed, is a career criminal with 72 prior arrests. Just 3 months ago, Reed was charged with knocking a social worker unconscious.
Lawrence Reed had no business being on the streets, given his violent criminal history and his pending criminal cases. Reed had plenty of second chances by the criminal justice system, and as a result, you have an innocent victim in the hospital fighting for her life.
U.S. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy released this statement. It is devastating that a career criminal with 72 prior arrests is now accused of attacking Bethany McGee on Chicago's L train and setting her on fire. This would never have happened if this thug had been behind bars. It's reminding many of the unprovoked murder in August of Irina Zarutska, a Ukrainian refugee who was on a commuter train in Charlotte.
Yeah, what about Irina? I feel like they've just completely let this story down. There's no discussion about it. What if this was like, let's say, reversed situation in the race scenario? Then we'd have riots in the streets. Folks.
She was brutally stabbed. In that case, the accused killer has a history of violence and mental illness, yet was free on no cash bail. Now, a new outrage.
A brutal and vicious attack on a young woman.
The suspect is facing federal terrorism charges, which could make him eligible for the death penalty if convicted.
Good. Yeah, the mistake here, and by the way, this is the guy. It's not like, this guy was saying it all. Well, that might be the thing that gets him off. But the mistake here is that these attacks with Arena and this guy on the train, they happen on transportation. They happen on public transportation, so it falls under a different, sort of a different parameter where you can get federal. You can get charged federally. And I would imagine they're gonna go hard on this guy. These judges that let these people out, it's just absolutely and this is the terrifying thing. You don't know who's where. I'll tell you another thing. As you're thinking about trembling, I'm thinking about this right now, the holiday season. Over the river and through the woods, as you go over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house, how many of those folks on the road with you are illegal truckers? They don't understand, illegal aliens. They don't understand English. They have no idea. I saw a video from a woman the other day. I don't have it handy. I can't show it to you, but she was hit. She's another truck driver herself. She says, what happens when they put these people out of service? The Department of Transportation. They get right back on the road. The truck that just hit her and smashed into her, she said, she did the research and the lookup on the ID on the truck and the license plate, and the guy had just been put out of service, and the trucking company put him back on the road. You can't make this stuff up. This is horrifying. So my thoughts are people traveling for the holidays, and you got all these families out there on the roads. Holy smokes. It is absolutely sickening, some of the stuff that's been allowed to happen, and that's continuing to happen right now. How about this? It's not any better in New York. In Mom Donnie's New York City. In fact, this is before he even takes control. New York residents are told to call a quote quality of life team, not the NYPD, while a mob attacks a wealthy white area. Oh yeah, we can't help you there. Can you please call the quality of life team? We're gonna send some social workers out to have a conversation with you about it.
Chaos that happened over the weekend when street racers decided to have a meetup here, except it turned violent. About a block away, a guy asked them not to stand on his property and told them to leave, and they ended up assaulting him.
Fractured nose, fractured shoulder, fractured bone in my face, a few fractured ribs, and this fracture in my neck with the cartilage, and yeah. Listen, I'm lucky to be standing here.
Yeah. Chaos that happened over the weekend when street racers.
It's incredible. It's absolute. It's like the Wild Wild West. There no holds barred. There's just there's nobody taking this stuff seriously. It appears, at least, anyway. You mean they have all kinds of ways to track us and to find out who we are and what we're doing and where we're going, minute by minute. But they can't find these people. They don't know. Come on. They can't be the ones to stop this stuff. Even in Grand Rapids, by the way, here and in our backyard, they had a big Christmas tree lighting this last weekend, and they found a couple of teens that were running around downtown after this big, and the huge families coming down to see that. I refuse to do that, but they got families coming down. They're going to have a little Christmas tree lighting. There was a couple coming out of a restaurant, And this group of teens, these thugs, this probably little gang, came in and wanted to steal their leftovers. They were arrested. Eventually, one of them caught with a firearm. I think it was a pistol that had, 26 rounds in it. Sounds a little excessive to me. I don't know that go that high, but that's just crazy. How about this? A DOJ employee just charged with terrorism after she was doxing Border Patrol agents.
First at 5, a federal employee charged with terrorism. She is accused of sharing the name of a federal agent with someone who made a threat against them. Thank you for joining us at 5. I'm Christine Galvan. Javi is off today. We learned of Karen De Leon's arrest just within the last 20 minutes. The Cameron County DA's office says she revealed the agent's name on a social media live stream. The stream was part of a federal law enforcement operation in June. Another man reportedly made a death threat toward one of the agents in the live stream. That is who she allegedly gave the agent's name to. The DA's office says De Leon is an employee at the United States Attorney's Office in Brownsville. She is charged with terrorism and tampering with evidence.
You got to be kidding me. That's treason in my mind. That's not just terrorism. That's treason. These people are working for the government. She's working for the DOJ, and she's out there doxing ICE and Border Patrol. You got to be kidding me. Accountability only comes right. You're only going to stop these things when you actually put a stop to these things. And these incredible, the Seditious Six, etc. By the way, Charlie LaDuff had a great post on this. Listen to what he writes. He rewrote Slotkin's speech for her. I'm Senator Alyssa Slotkin. No one has had to carry out orders that violate the law. Slotkin, in her time, though, he says, as high intelligence community command under Bush and Obama, headed the Iraq portfolio, illegal bombings, illegal torture, illegal prisons, illegal drone strikes. If anybody followed illegal orders, it was she. Released the deep state Slotkin files, he said. By the way, you know, all the people that tell you, well, I went following the Constitution and, the oath and all this other stuff. And the way they voted, that got her elected because the candidate was running as a Republican wasn't good enough for him. Just try to make sense of that. Try to make sense. Here's a good one for Tech Tuesday next week when we come back with Trent, by the way. This is from the Babylon Bee. Jesus heals demon-possessed man by taking away his smartphone. Oh, Lord. There's probably some truth in that. In fact, I think I saw Elon Musk share that out and say, yeah, there's probably some truth there. Oh, you can't make this stuff up. Oh, man. There's got to be some good news in here, huh? It can't just be all bad news all the time. No, I actually do. And look, I think it's good to laugh. Some of this stuff, I think you got to. I think you have to laugh at some of the things that we're watching play out. I think sometimes we got to be able to have a good chuckle. I think we got to stay in that sort of the way of the cheerful warrior. Some of these guys have got it done. Senator Kennedy talking about why socialism is catching on with young people, particularly the Democrat Party, the Bolshevik wing, he calls it, of the Democrat Party, why it's gaining influence. This is a guy who always makes sense.
Well, I think the rise of the loon wing is attributable to a number of things. First, money. There are a lot of people making a lot of money off of this movement.
That's right.
An enormous amount of money off of this movement. Number two, I think it's attributable, particularly among the young, to ignorance and frustration. Particularly, you take New York as an example. It's tough there to be a young professional with the cost of living. So you have the frustration elements. The ignorance element comes in. A lot of them have gone to woke colleges. They've never been taught much history, at least not objective history. They've never been taught that socialism is for morons. That's not an opinion. That's a fact. I mean, all you have to do is read history. Some of it is opportunism, but I don't think there's a lot of underlying sound, rational thinking to it. I mean, I think it's all driven by not all, some are in good faith, but by much of it is driven by opportunistic politicians.
The affordability element
and the media.
Yes.
Don't underestimate.
Well,
them.
I wouldn't and we've talked about this on my program extensively.
I love Senator Kennedy. He's always good for a good laugh, but that was a little bit more of a serious explanation. Scott Jennings taking it to him on CNN. Scott's coming, I think, in the next week or two to the Kent GOP event happening here on a Saturday morning. If you want to go see him, we'll try and get maybe even get him on. Wouldn't that be cool to have Scott on with us at some point?
Perhaps it goes farther than he often does.
An administration investigating members of Congress? Are you describing Operation Arctic Frost to me, or are we talking about current events? I hear you.
I'm talking about a video, Scott,
Okay.
right? Like you put a video out.
Now?
Okay.
Defending it? No, I'm saying, she said that power changes hands, and I assume what you meant was that you shudder to think what would happen when Democrats took power. They already had
power, and there are Republicans who are making political videos, right? Are they going to use the FBI to investigate them too, right?
Here's what I think.
What?
Here's what I think. Plenty of Republicans are outraged about this. This video was clearly designed to try to create a narrative among the American people that the president had been or was about to give illegal orders. And it appears to me that it all has to do with what he's doing with Venezuela. That seems to be what they're mad about, although they did ask Alyssa Slotkin on TV, and she cited a Hollywood movie to rationalize or justify what she had done. I don't know what the truth is about these interviews, and I don't know if they'll ever be compelled to do it or not. But I do know whether Republicans are circumspect about the law enforcement angle here. Most Republicans I know are pretty darn angry that Democrats made an irresponsible public statement trying to tell the American people that the commander-in-chief had been or was about to give illegal orders.
I'm making a distinction between the creation of the video and whether Republicans are mad about that or think that it was a bad idea, and the idea that the president of the United States is going to use the Pentagon and the FBI to go after sitting members of Congress for basically talking.
Well, I agree with you. Some Republicans have been circumspect about that.
This is just circular talk here.
That I've heard say, if there's something here, it ought to be looked into. But I'm going to give you the political analysis, which is most Republicans that I've heard from on this and hear about on it are very, very angry that these Democrats did something this irresponsible.
Yeah, it's obvious. Anybody that doesn't get this is not being intellectually honest. I mean, that's just all there is to it. You're so deranged because of your obsession with President Trump that you have no, you're just not capable of seeing reality. And by the way, these are the same people that believe that women should be forced and subjected to men in their locker rooms, and men can have babies and all the rest of it. So look, it's not that all that far-fetched. All right, this is our PSA. Our public service announcement. If you're going to fry a turkey at home, be careful. Don't do it indoors. Whatever you do, make sure you are far away from the home and be cautious. Exercise great caution while doing so. These videos are all we always hear these stories. 4th of July, it's people lighting themselves on fire with the fireworks, losing fingers, etc. And Thanksgiving, it's always just they burned the house down because they wanted to fry it down. Fried turkey is delicious. It is a delicacy, but at the same time, not worth burning your house down over. Here it is. A couple of firefighters. Look at that. Oh, man. That grease catches on fire quicker than you know what. And then look at what you can barely see it, but at the end here, look at the siding. Look how fast the siding just melts. Whew. That is something. I won't be doing that. I'm not doing that this year. You got to watch those levels. And you got to make sure the bird's thawed out all the way and all of that. There's so much to it. Make sure you do your due diligence on all of it when you get into it. In the meantime, yes, I will be here. Show notes, sort of a programming note. I will be here Friday on Beck Friday for Black Friday. I'll be on the locals side of things for the VIP. Kind of like a double secret stream that we're not going to tell a lot of people about because I don't own the content. I don't own the content. So I can't like put it out wide like I do with my normal show. But I will do it for VIPs over in locals because it's a little more private and, just a handful of people who want to come on. Now, if that's you, if you want to join the VIP, just $7 a month right now, you can join for a whole year and get a month free. Come over and watch on Friday, rather. Plus, I'll send you a signed copy of my book. That's a great Christmas present. And if, I've kind of hinted at this here and there, maybe mostly for folks in the VIP on locals. But if you'd like to join and you really want to, this is for folks that really want to get behind the mission of faith, family, freedom, truth, logic, common sense, getting the stories out to people that haven't heard them. If you really want to join, I'm going to do something for Black Friday this year. I haven't dropped it yet, but you can just email if you'd like. And this is going to be for a limited number of people and a small time window. But if you'd like to become a lifetime Freedom Fam VIP member, lifetime member, send me an email, Justin, Justin, Justin at justinbarclay.com, and I'll fill you in. Now, it's lifetime, so it's going to be a hefty, and it's a big support. But at the same time, there are a few people, and Greta, you're one of them, and I know Dean's, a couple others reached out yesterday too. I got to get back to a few of these folks. So I will be making that. It's not, you'll never have to pay again. This is lifetime. And then we got lots of other perks that are going to come along with your support. And I'll send you the list of all those things so you can make that decision. Again, it's not for everybody. I know that. But these are for people that say, we really love what you're doing. And we want to make sure that you're able to do it. And we got some big things coming in the next year that we're working on behind the scenes on. So that is all of that. Now, we planned on doing a Maha update with our good friend Maha Missy. But I think we got some wires crossed. We got I know she's traveling, so maybe the time got mixed up for her. If we end up getting her and we do an update with her, I'll share it with you over the weekend when we do get her on, but doesn't look like we're going to have her today, unfortunately. But that's okay. Appreciate you as always, folks. Your support means the world to me. And, of course, getting all of this. Oh, my gosh, Sherry's power came back on. We're praying that power doesn't go out for folks. Think about those birds and all that food. Oh, my goodness. And the wind whipping as wildly as it is today. We'll pray that they get power back on quickly if it does go out, and nothing is impacted. We'll just say it that way. Be safe traveling on the roads. We're praying for your safe travel as well. And just grateful for you as always on this Thanksgiving week. Wishing you the best. Make it a great one, folks. God bless. Black Friday deals are here at mypillow.com/Justin and mystore.com/Justin. You can grab them now. Help support Mike and support this program. And not only that, but save this country while you're saving some money. This holiday weekend, save up to 50% off on my coffee. Save big on the pillow, all the USA products and merchandise for entrepreneurs in the My Store. The Black Friday sale underway. Use promo code Justin at mypillow.com/Justin, mystore.com/Justin. PairWithJustin.com with the folks at My Patriot Supply. Right now, save with their pre-Black Friday sale. They've got all kinds of gear, goodies, food that will last 25 years on the shelf, and more. Get prepared. No matter what coming down the road, you can sleep well at night knowing that you've done